Welcome back to Monday Morning Motivation. You guys, I have some interesting stories for you. So if you just want to get into the meat of the episode, I will not be offended. You can scroll a little bit. But if you're interested in the Frankie traveling story, it was literally crazy. It's the story that my mom literally was like, you are probably ready for kids now after this. But to spare like all of the details, we were flying home from Chicago. Like I mentioned in last week's episode, we were getting my parents' house ready to put on the market. And Garrett traveled separately from us because he just got back early and he is gone this weekend. And it was me and my parents and Frankie. And he had an upset stomach the night before as well. He woke me up 3 times in the middle of the night. It was like growling, all the things. I felt bad for him, whatever. I think it's borderline a small dog thing, but also maybe he was licking some of the cleaning chemicals. He like ate something. I don't really know. But we ended up, long story short, I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but we ended up going home Monday night instead of Tuesday morning. It was chaotic, to say the least, to get to that flight. And he kind of was just thrown into the mix. And when we were on the flight attendants were so chill. There was really not that many people on the flight. So I ended up just holding him because I knew he wasn't feeling great and they didn't care. And I was like, I'm just going to hold him and like hang out with him instead of putting him in his carrier underneath the seat. We fast forward a little bit. He starts to get antsy. I put him back in his carrier. He's still kind of antsy. He laid down for a while, whatever, looks up at me. So I picked him back up. I look in, he had thrown up in there. So now I feel really bad. He's shaking, he's panting. I'm literally having a conversation with ChatGPT being like, what do I do? How do I soothe my dog to like calm him down? Because I felt so bad. And we still had like a little over an hour until we landed. And I kind of calmed him down. I don't think I got him fully ever like chill, but a little bit calmer. He would walk across. It was me by the window, my mom, and then my dad. He would walk across and try to get like into the aisle. And I didn't think anything of it. I thought he just like wasn't feeling good, if he was hot, whatever. We tried to keep him calm. We probably had maybe 10 minutes until we landed. Threw up again in my dad's hand, caught it. What a gem, blessing, great. So it wasn't all over. He puts that in the barf bag, whatever, deal with that. We land. Thank God, everything's okay. We're, sitting, waiting to get off the plane. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, you have a dog. He's so cute. I didn't even know he was there. He's so well behaved. I'm like, yep, thank you. But he's literally at this point, he's still trying to get out and away, which is just obviously not like him. He will chill with me. But we stand up to get off the plane. And I'm like, interesting, like smell. Kind of smells like poop. And we get off. We walk through the tunnel. We get out. I had already put his harness on him so I could just put him on his leash and let him down because I'm like, if he has to throw up again, I'm going to just let him do it and I'll clean it up because he needs, poor guy. We put him down. He starts diarrheaing on the floor and I'm like, oh my gosh, but like also feel so bad for him. And he kind of like is struggling and not a lot came out. And I was like, that's weird. Like why, that's not really a lot. And I looked down. It's all over me, literally covered in my sweatshirt, my white fuzzy jacket. And I'm just like, okay, here we are. And we made it work. It was literally horrific. It smelled so bad. It was literally all over. My dad went, got paper towel from the bathroom, wet it. I'm wiping it off. Luckily, I had clean clothes in my suitcase. So once we got our luggage, I grabbed a pair of pants, went in the bathroom to change. My mom brought him in because he was looking for me because he was so anxious because he was not doing well. And I'm like, well, let's see if he has any more on him because he had long hair. And sure enough, now I'm wiping his butt with wet paper towel from the bathroom so it doesn't get all over. It was literally such a nightmare, such a nightmare. And the worst part is he is still kind of struggling. Like today, I ended up having to take him to the vet the next day because he threw up blood the next morning. But he's kind of struggling today too. So hopefully he's on the mend. He's on antibiotics. I'm sure it's fine. If you've heard the anaphylaxis story, we told it in the 2025 wrap-up episode. Nothing kind of like freaks me out that bad anymore because he literally almost died. for that. And I'm like, well, he's alert enough. I mean, he doesn't feel good. He's sleepy, but he's not lethargic. So all is well. All is well. That was crazy. My mom's like, oh, you're ready for kids, I guess, because you were so calm. And I just, what are you supposed to do? I felt bad for him. And there's literally nothing I could do. And honestly, that was probably a better case scenario than if he would have done it on the plane, because it would have smelled the whole plane and I would have been so mortified if it was on the ground there. So overall, proud of him. He was really struggling, trying to hold it all in. And, of course, he had to just give me a little present and let me suffer with him. But it's just us. We are here for the weekend. Garrett's on a bachelor trip in Canada. So it was actually, last night was my first night staying in this house alone, which was crazy, very bizarre. It was the weirdest day too. During the day was okay, and I had to put some laundry away. Oh my God, I don't think I can go one episode without talking about laundry, but I was folding laundry. The whole house was shut down. Like the lights were off, everything was locked, alarms on. And I'm sitting on my bed, put a podcast on the TV, and a loud thud out of nowhere. And even to the point where Frankie looks at me, and normally I'm reassuring him when he gets scared, but at this point, I'm also scared. So we're both looking out the door. I'm freaking out. Like, what is that noise? I mean, obviously it was nothing. I'm here to tell the tale, but I don't know. I'm so paranoid. And then to top it all off, if you don't know, now you do, I have a very big phobia of bugs. Specifically, cockroaches are my kryptonite, but also spiders are up there. And of course, big, huge spider out of nowhere. And normally, like, I will literally freak out and make Garrett come kill it. My dad, if, he's around, and when I was living at home, but it was one of those moments where I saw it and I was like, if I don't kill this right now, I will not sleep tonight. So killed it underneath a tissue box. That tissue box is still in the same spot. Hasn't moved. My dad has yet to come clean it up, because I'm like, that's it. It literally splattered everywhere, legs on the wall, really good things. So yeah, I'm so sorry if you didn't fast forward this and that was not the best start to your week, but the rest of the episode will be. Thanks for listening for that. It's been a good time, but we're here, and let's get into the meat of it, you guys. So when it comes to productivity, I feel like I've done a lot of reflection on this, of ways that being a dancer has impacted me and how I approach being productive and how I judge myself in that way. However, even if you're not a dancer listening to this, these are just some of my tips and things that I have learned over the years to help with, one, the feeling of being productive, and two, just being productive. Honestly, I feel like from dance, I just had a hard time feeling like I do enough. Beginning of last year would end my days so upset and so almost disappointed in myself, and literally go to Garrett and be like, I got nothing done today. And he would literally rattle off all the different things that I had gotten done. And it just, I don't know, it never felt like enough. And I think that as a dancer or playing sports or anything very physical, there is that physical aspect of it that is hard to get as an adult, not doing that, or on an off day, even if you're still dancing on a day that you have an off day or you're not taking class, whatever the reason is, it can be hard to feel like you've exhausted yourself, because we're so used to being mentally, physically, emotionally sometimes drained versus when you're not being active. But that doesn't mean that it's not enough. And I think for me personally, if you have anything else outside of physical things or kind of entrepreneurially, thought I would get that word down by now, but we're still working on it. But when I have to create my own schedule now, it's just a new world, I guess, for me, because even back to college, back to New York City days, I had places to be. There were certain times that I could go to dance classes. There were certain times I was working at. So there wasn't so much wiggle room, where now I really get to create my own schedule and be at home most of the time. But these things that I do now would have helped me even back in the dance full-time days, because I feel like whenever I would have unscheduled downtime, not unscheduled, maybe nothing scheduled in my downtime. I don't know. Is that the right way to say that? Probably. But I would honestly, most of the time, probably just start to spiral, doom scroll, waste my time because I didn't have a clear plan and I would very easily get overwhelmed with the thought of starting tasks, which maybe that's a whole nother issue of mine. But I don't know. I just think it's a very weird adjustment. And if you also love being productive and feeling accomplished and sometimes struggle with that, this is why we're making this episode. And also just to not feel alone in that, and that we live in this hustle culture and there's so many things right at our fingertips that we can always be doing. And there's beauty in just relaxing and being present as well. But if you're spiraling and doom scrolling, don't do that. Okay, so anyways, let's get into it. Things that help me now when I feel myself kind of getting into that rut or not being productive, for a lack of a better word, but I'll literally just change what I'm doing. I think that for me, when I'm doing things that are subjective, I let my perfectionist turn on a little bit and overthink things. For example, let's say that you have a dance reel to create or you have some type of project to do. I would take way too long, like way more hours than needed to be allocated to it because there are just so many things that I could be doing to make it better. So it's been just that balance of knowing when to step away. Because if you actually just step away and do something different, you might actually have time to take that space and be like, okay, actually, this is probably, I don't want to say good enough because you always want to be your best, but when it is subjective, you can always be better and you have to be comfortable with doing things not 100%. I saw that quote somewhere that you have to just be comfortable with your work. Yeah, I think that's what it said. Comfortable putting out things that are 70% and not to say you don't want to be your best. Again, want to reiterate that you should always be striving to be your best. But I take this podcast as an example. Not that these are bad. Hopefully you guys enjoy these and they're okay. But I could have a full-time producer. I could have hundreds of dollars worth of equipment. Like I could have a lot more things happening for this. But if I let those things get in my way, then we wouldn't be here right now. And you have to start somewhere. That really took a long turn. But if you don't feel productive, I digress. Change what you're doing because it can help with any of those things. Maybe you can change what you're doing by going outside or going on a walk. And I do recognize that we are in the winter right now, and that might not be something that's exciting wherever you live. But hopefully it's getting close to that time, especially when it is nice out. Going on a walk is something that now that I've been in Texas for 2 years, I think I honestly take for granted and have been trying to be a little more present with it lately because that fresh air will do wonders. And I don't know about you, there will be times if I do start doing a different task that maybe is less important or fun. Like, I don't know, laundry, my kryptonite still. I can get in my head and just think about the things that I should be doing. But when I'm outside and I'm walking, it just allows you the space to connect. That sounds so cliche, but just connect with nature. If you're walking with someone, just to connect with them. And it's way easier to actually detach from things for a second. So definitely outside, fresh air, walking, movement in that way. You want to stretch, maybe I should try that. I would assume that would be very good as well. This one's might be a little controversial, but I don't put the pressure on myself to finish tasks. Sounds crazy, but let me tell you why. I would find myself putting tasks off because they felt so daunting and I knew a lot of time would be allocated. I'm going to go back to laundry. You guys probably think I am crazy about this laundry thing. I don't know what it is. It just takes so much time and I like things organized and in their place. So then if I want it to be done well, it does take more time. I don't know. If you know, you know. If you have like laundry struggles, please let me know so that I know I'm not crazy. I would be like, okay, I have to unpack and then I have to do the load of laundry. Then I have to put it all away and then also put away that other load that I am a little bit behind on and fold it and hang it and all the things. And that would overwhelm me. So now I will be like, okay, you know what? I feel myself getting a little stagnant, a little stale. Let me get up. Let me just fold all the laundry. So I'll go fold all the laundry. That's not really completing it. It's not away. It's still in the laundry room or on my bed, wherever my folding area of choice is in that moment. But then I'm like, okay, it's done. It takes not as long. And then later I'm like, oh, what a breeze. I can just put it away and then it's done at least by the end of the day, right? So maybe if you're not like me and you get things done quickly and don't have a problem, don't take that advice and finish your tasks if you have a hard time completing them. But maybe just it's breaking down your tasks and just doing something, hard tasks first. Anyone remembers that series and was around for it a long time ago? But that kind of goes in with that of just doing something that you've been putting off. You know, those tasks where you're like, this is not difficult, but I don't know what is the reason I'm putting it off. Just do a hard task, step away. And then it's like a dopamine hit essentially, where you're like, okay, I did this. I'm accomplished. Now I can get back into what I need to be doing. So it's almost like taking a break without taking a break. Is that toxic? Maybe. And this one's one of my favorites too, is to organize a space. Also a series. Oh my gosh. See, I love productivity things, which is so silly, but organize a space. They say, what do they say? You guys know I butcher these quotes. It's a cluttered space is a cluttered mind. So even if it's just, I got a lot of things in the space that I'm in right now, let me clean up all the dog toys, or let me clean up the little random things that are all the pens that are on my desk, whatever the case is, just organizing a space. Or maybe it's just one drawer, because to go back to don't finish tasks, that would be my other problem of, okay, well, I'm going to organize this whole entire closet instead of, okay, let me organize just my shoes for a second. Let me organize just this. So you can just kind of break things up. And it's a physical task is also a bonus. Forgot to mention that there's some other science behind that, but I'm not going to hit you with the real research behind it, but it's real. I'm pretty sure doing things physically with your hands is also really, really good for your brain. So that is helpful. And my last tidbit advice, I'm sure you can guess it, is to journal on it. You guys know I'm a morning journal girly, but sometimes I feel called in the middle of the day when I'm in a rut and I feel chaotic and like I'm getting nothing done, and you're doing so much, but you're doing nothing at all. It's like working harder, not smarter kind of thing. You're just like busy work. And I'm like, whoa, I need to rein it back in and really realign with what I want to get done this day, what this day is going to look like for me. And then I journal on it. And that either looks like a reflection of where the day is going and where I want it to go. Maybe it's more, I don't want to say strict, but more of a prompt of questions. You can always use the internet or DM me for questions, but just things that can kind of get you back on track of things that you're proud of yourself for, or how you want to feel when you wake up tomorrow, or how you are going to feel when you complete whatever you're working on, whatever that is for you. But journaling, getting your inside thoughts outside onto paper into the world. So those are my little things that are just kind of mini hacks that I kind of try to pull from when I feel myself in that rut, or I feel I'm not doing enough, or just don't feel good about my day. And also just taking a breath and remembering that you're doing your best and your best looks different every day and it's all going to be good. So my quote for this Monday for you is, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life thinking it's stupid. That one, I almost had to think about that for too long, but so good, right? I just love it. If you like this episode, let me know. I want to tailor these to you guys and make them as helpful and as fun and as motivating as possible. So I'm always all ears. DMs, comments are open. Have the best week, and I will see you next Monday.